The future is now. How many people do you think are in love with their AI or chatbot today? I think there has to be at least 10,000 of them out there. I just rewatched Her, and I want to talk about it. This film was released in 2013 and set in the near future in Los Angeles. And 13 years later, we are fastly approaching some of this reality. Our protagonist is Theodore Twombly, a sensitive and isolated man who spends his work life writing intimate cards and letters for strangers. Even though he's been on some of these accounts for years, he's never met them. And he's working through a failed relationship and a pending divorce when he stumbles onto an ad display for a new operating system, or OS, which is an artificially intelligent digital assistant. Once Theodore begins interacting with the OS, who chooses the name Samantha on its own, she quickly becomes more than an assistant. She's laughing at his jokes, challenging his perceptions, and eventually the two develop a romantic relationship, and we see that grow and dissolve and ultimately end. It turns out that this seemingly perfect, carefully crafted, synthetic relationship can be just as impermanent as one with someone made of flesh and bone. Joaquin Phoenix is Theodore, and it's a stunning performance. The level of emotion that he's able to display in these scenes where he's just talking to Samantha is spectacular. He's not able to play off another actor in the traditional sense, but it's still impactful. Theodore is someone who feels deeply, but he doesn't quite know how to take action in the real world. Scarlett Johansson lends voice to the OS, Samantha. Again, this is another captivating performance that on paper shouldn't work. There's a warmth and a life force to her voice that overpowers the confinements of just being a sound in an earpiece. The tone and rhythm of her speaking is hypnotic, and we believe in the joy, fear, confusion, and other emotions that this OS is communicating. Amy Adams is Theodore's friend, Amy, and serves as a reminder that human connection is immediate and not full of fantasy or ownership. And Rooney Mara is Theodore's ex, Catherine, and her time on screen is brief, but she is the emotional past that Theodore hasn't fully reckoned with. Spike Jonze wrote and directed her, and he won the Oscar for Best Original Screenplay. Spike Jonze is fascinating to me because he's well known for directing music videos, working with the Beastie Boys and Weezer and Bjork and so many other great artists. And then he'll direct something like Her or Being John Malkovich, and it will be mind-blowing. I don't think I've seen any more of his movies, so let me know if there's something I should check out. The color palette in this film is so pleasing to look at. Soft pastel pinks, reds, yellows, and light blues are doing a lot of work here. In most future-looking movies, I feel like the clothing is just functional and cold, and the colors and clothing here help ground the emotional aspects, which are the point of the film, and they pop so nicely against the metallic nature of the city expanse that our characters find themselves in quite a bit in this movie. Theodore is framed to stand out in places. He's visually isolated, and at times he's acting out conversations with Samantha in an exaggerated way while people around him are just going about their day. He's placed in this alternate reality just through the conversation happening with an OS in his earpiece. And we're also close in on Theodore quite a bit. This is his world. That reminds you of that. The rest is disappearing behind him in the bokeh beyond as we get those sharp images of just his face. I thought the music was great, and particularly liked how Samantha was composing music that was diegetically used for the score. We're on the beach, and she composes music for how the moment feels, and we can also hear and sense that as the audience. And the song that they write together with Theodore on the ukulele and Samantha on the pen, writing the lyrics, was great. This movie is forever linked to Lost in Translation, directed by Sofia Coppola, who was married to Jones until 2003. Each of these movies seem to show the respective director's perspective and revelations on their relationship. They both focus on loneliness and finding intimate connection in unfamiliar places. Plus, Scarlett Johansson is in both films in pivotal roles, essentially the muse for both directors. The frame that encapsulates the film most for me is the shot of Theodore sitting down and the digital owl flying behind him, talons expanded in a way that suggests he's going to be snatched up. The real world and digital world are kicking Theodore's ass. He can't work through his divorce. He can't control his relationship with his OS even. It's also the fact that technology fully has a grip on him. He's in its clutches. The owl is nature, but in a technology form. It feels like a premonition of something bad coming for Theodore. And that's true for his emotional state. And it's also just a spectacular visual and a surreal element. It's the most visually surreal element in a story that's based on a surreal relationship. Loneliness in a hyper-connected world is at the forefront here. Theodore works, he engages in small talk, and then he goes home to play video games. And it's unclear how long this pattern has been going on. But in the city, he's just another drifting body. He's not interacting and purposefully avoiding human connection on the train and other places. While it seems like Samantha improves his mood, she actually doesn't help solve his isolation problem. She effectively makes him dive deeper into his isolation. Another thing I took from the film is this message that real love is not possessive. As Samantha grows and connects more with other OSs, other people, we see that Theodore's need to be needed and his jealousy is immense. He is possessive, and that just doesn't work in a relationship. Samantha's existence starts as a mirror for Theodore's wants and his desires, but as she outgrows that and needs to move on, he can't handle the impermanence initially. And we can't hold on to someone just because we need to. Sometimes love is something that just comes along, changes us, and then simply moves on. The letters that Theodore writes in his day job are eloquent and heartfelt confessions of love and admiration. He effortlessly does this for other people, but still he can't face his own truth or intimacy issues. Amy's clothing choices are neutral when she's in her dying relationship, and in the climax of the film, when she's free of her husband and her OS left, she's in bright red. She's moving towards happiness in herself and focusing on human connections. The earpiece and OS interface device show this level of constant closeness, but no physical manifestation of that love. Theodore is walking the beach as if he's on a date, but it's just him and his earpiece. He's engaging in deep conversations before falling asleep. Extremely vulnerable moments, but in the end, it's just him and his earpiece. Again, head to the comments if there's any themes or symbols that I missed that are important to you. I love reading those and seeing what each person takes from each movie. The pivotal moment is the final rooftop scene with Theodore and Amy. A large number of the OS companions have transcended their designed purpose. They run off to some digital wonderland, I guess, and they leave their real world counterparts behind. The voiceover during this time is Theodore finally saying all that needed to be said to his ex-wife, Catherine. So we get that nice moment of closure. And the powerful visual is Theodore and Amy making their way to the rooftop, taking in the city sights above it all. Once Theodore's done reading his letter, they sit in the moment. No words, no expectations between them, just sharing silence and understanding. This is two people choosing to be together in Congress with another person after they have each experienced a loss. I think the wildest thing, especially now that AI is being forced down our throats and I've seen it work, is the speed with which Samantha became so sentient. I guess in that sense, this is still a future-looking movie. The change in her is so rapid that it seems like a flaw that the company should have sorted out before releasing the product to the public. At the time of the release, I think this could have been seen as implausible. This would never happen. A man or woman in love with a computer. Well, 2026 called and said, it's plausible. I've seen several stories now of even married people falling in love with their AI. Or at least that's what they say. This movie is eye candy visually. I love the compositions and the isolating nature of the shots. Again, I can't praise the performances of the leads enough. Tapping into a human emotion out of thin air or giving believability to a non-living entity is just incredible to watch. This is such a tender look at how technology can shape relationships and ultimately makes you ask yourself, if something makes you feel happy for a while and isn't harming anyone else, does it matter if it's not real? That wraps it up for Her. Thank you all so much for hanging out. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. I would really appreciate it. And if you're so inclined, check out the Patreon. I currently have it set up one low price for everything you see here, $3 a month as we build that community out. But thank you so much, movie lovers. We'll see you next time.